Welcome back to another issue. I'm Beastie Boy,
I'm Table.
I'm Red.
It is I, Shino Brando.
and in this issue, we return to adventures in time and space and go through the recent bonkers event, Doctor Who Flux.
All right, so the last time we chat this series, we went through a sort of time and space catch-up that briefly summed up the last 52-ish years of the show's history. This time round, we're here to chat the end of the last season, season 12, and all of the mini HBO-style season known as Doctor Who Flux. On this show, and throughout the shows we do, Nerd Crusade podcast, wherever you find your podcast, I'm kind of ever the optimist, right? So on a rewatch, if you were going to go through all of Doctor Who and start at specific sections, right, and jump into this season, I just wouldn't.
Oh,
Actually,
okay.
season makes no sense without context.
You
Like-
need the last season. The last season touches on the last episode, in which you need the entire rest of the season to figure out. It is ultra sort of complicated. I promise you, the notes I've made for this season make much more sense the actual season themselves.
So Doctor Who likes to make callbacks to itself when it's trying to do its big events because it wants to have grandiose, like complicated alien characters, but it doesn't have the time to introduce them to you because those are focused on whatever the big thing is. So it uses previous characters, which is perfectly fine in theory. But the issue is, it's been a while since Doctor Who's made any new and really lasting aliens or like creatures. So they keep reusing the same handful, and it's really getting old at this point.
Okay.
Before we kind of jump into what I consider both Jodie Whittaker's best and also the most needlessly complicated season, let's wrap up that previous one. What showrunner Chris Chibnall did during season 12 can only be described as a universe-sized nuke on the Doctor Who mythos.
Oh,
What did he do?
The biggest retcon is as follows. Instead of being born and having the power to regenerate through being of the planet Gallifrey and then being a Time Lord, the Doctor is now a being known as the Timeless Child, a kid that landed on ancient Gallifrey underneath a wormhole. This kid was adopted, the same way Batman adopts kids.
you mean Nighttime Warriors, yes.
Yeah.
Collect an orphan.
Well, instead of Batman doing Collect an Orphan, it is Tekte Un.
He too shops at Babies R Us. I gotcha.
For all intents and purposes, it's the Doctor's mom, who began to experiment on this kid and found out they had the inherent ability to regenerate. Chris Chibnall forgot, somewhere along these lines, while designing that season, that the show was called Doctor Who, and that the Doctor is our main character, and thereby everything focuses on the character known as the Doctor. We don't need yet another reason for how they're intrinsic to the plot. The show is called Doctor Who.
I mean, I
They're
gotcha.
already the protagonist.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Also, Old Who has some rough and approximate backstory for the Doctor as a child that's perfectly serviceable. It does the job. Why would you fuck with it?
Shake things up.
Tekte Un then spent an unholy amount of time killing this child over and over and over again as tests on the limits of regeneration.
That's fucked up.
And so, literally, Tekte Un built Gallifrey as we know it and the Time Lord civilization based on the genetic code of the Doctor. So the whole reason the Time Lords in Gallifrey have regeneration powers is because of this child.
Wow. So I remember when we first did the discussion, I remember I asked like all that stuff. And now I guess that's a total retcon, like you said.
100%.
All of our answers now wrong.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's fucked.
We were gently alluded to this last season by the introduction of Joe Martin's Doctor.
The fugitive Doctor.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And also 4 faces we haven't seen in like 30 years that we couldn't place. We didn't know what Doctor number they were. But now Chris Chibnall says that doesn't matter and fuck you.
Oh, okay.
Oh, shit.
That seems to be the general tone of a significant portion of the series we're going to be talking about today. That doesn't matter. Fuck you.
I refresh my memory. How long has Doctor Who been in mainstream media as a thing?
November 23rd, 1963.
1963. So it's about nearly 60 years old itself? Like 59 years old right about now?
Next year will be its 60th anniversary.
Yeah, wow. So what did you get? What did anybody read and watch for the last 59 years? 58 years, sorry.
That's correct.
Bullshit.
That's correct.
Okay. Okay.
You know how there are some very famous retcons that have gone down, especially in comics, that everyone hates
Mhm.
and get unretconned? That's kind of where I'm at with this. I'm really hoping we're gonna get a psych to the degree of, just kidding, Peter Parker wasn't actually a clone the whole time. We're sorry for implying he was. Stop yelling at us, please.
Honestly, that is a perfect allegory. This is the Doctor's clone saga.
Oh no.
But strap
I
in,
don't like
bitches.
that.
Let's go through it.
I'm strapped on. Let's go.
This season, we're told that the faces and lives that we're unaware of are hidden by the Division.
Oh,
Think
who?
cops, but specifically for the Doctor personally.
For Doctor, like for them or for like just the Doctor?
The Doctor, the character we follow the whole time.
Oh, so they made a
Just-
whole cop force for the Doctor. Okay.
Their own personal cops.
Wow. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Their main
Wow.
focus is, and I quote,
Uh-huh.
to ensure the safety of our galaxy.
I almost felt you were gonna say to infinity and beyond, but okay.
Honestly, you're not wrong though, that like Galaxy seems pretty small scale given how fucking large Doctor Who's universe is, but
Mhm.
whatever.
All right, go ahead. I'm still absorbing everything so far.
In storms the Flux, a universe-ending cloud of antimatter that expands through space and time.
Do you know how familiar this sounds? Have you ever heard of Crisis on Infinite Earths?
Yeah, almost sounds like Fart Cloud Galactus from Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer.
Yeah, strap onto that. Anyway,
Jeez.
this leaves the planet Earth with only one hope. Any guesses on who it is?
Doctor?
Space dogs.
Space?
It's
Dogs.
a race of dog space warriors known as the Lupari.
That sounds like a dog breed, Loki, not gonna lie.
They are
Sure.
also literally man's best friend, as in they pick their favorite person and that's their person forever now. They will be looking after them, thanks anyway.
Oh, you're so sort of Chewy. You're sort of Chewbacca. Okay.
The other thing they have to do is the Lupari fleet protects the Earth with their ships because, fun fact, it's antimatter proof or something.
They're the goodest boys. They're immune to being erased.
There you go.
Okay.
Also, apparently, fuck everyone else in the galaxy.
Exactly. We're Earth-centric.
Literally, the universe becomes Earth-centric following this event. Fuck.
Wow.
Meanwhile, the TARDIS team has had a little bit of a shakeup. The
Mhm.
old man Graham and wet cardboard known as Ryan, they have left the TARDIS and are replaced with Yes Man Dan, whose entire purpose is to go, wow.
Hey,
Yeah.
old
Oh.
Wilson called. He wants his line back.
I
Copyright.
like a lot of what they attempt to do with Dan, but here's the thing. We're dealing with a multiversal, we'll get there, space and time ending apocalypse event. Your date for tea with a person who's missing a hand, because that's just what we're doing now, doesn't mean anything, pal.
Yeah. Like you said, the idea of the stakes there, grounding this story in personal struggles as well as the whole multiversal thing, is a good idea. It was just executed really, really poorly. Like, even being concerned about something family related would have made more sense than worried about a date, you know?
Oh boy.
Like, I promised to be here for this family event and I've missed it for years and I don't want to miss it. And everyone's like, it's the apocalypse though. And he's like, but my child's recital. Like, that would at least be
Also, kinda
something to be the human element, but this
And,
was
like,
not.
played for laughs, but Dan is big smiley. Honestly, if he had a tail, he would wag it the entire time. Also on Team TARDIS is Yaz, the Pakistani cop that has been around since Jodie Whittaker's first season,
Mhm.
and also plays the
Yaz is
role
fine.
of the fan ship role.
Oh, got it.
Having like sort of a veteran traveler, like you've got the Doctor who is all sorts of smart and, just wee along space and time, and then having
Mhm.
another human there that has been around just a little bit and kind of understand how like plot goes and how story goes with this character makes anybody else you introduce makes the field level again instead of the imbalance of just the Doctor and one other person.
I mean, sometimes that formula works, right? Sometimes people would rather read Batman and Robin. Some people like the whole Bat family.
100%. And Doctor Who is no slouch when it comes to just a two-party TARDIS team. But this time it's 3.
Trinities are nice.
But anyway, so Earth, to be saved from the antimatter wave, the Flux, has a big circle of good boys in their ships protecting it. This, you'd think, would solve at least some of our problems, but actually there are other aliens on Earth and they hate us. So, boo.
These other aliens are known as the Suntarans. They're war-bred space potatoes.
What?
Wait, what?
Yeah, they just look like potatoes.
They just look like okay.
Yeah, they're not actually potatoes. Like the dogs we talked about earlier actually look
You-
like
listen.
dogs. These just look.
You have yeah. You're talking about Doctor Who to me here. Like everything you say is fucking literal. So you have to let me know from beforehand.
I understand. So they are a war race, specifically bred and designed to like just conquer. You know, like in the early 80s where like McDonald's had like those chicken nugget guys?
Uh-huh.
Sorry. Yep.
Yeah, that stuff that in a tin can he got a Centauran.
I'm on a horse.
Looking like a wet thumb. All right.
Mm.
Yep.
Anyway, now they're on Earth, and they've decided that they're gonna do the Crimea War, but instead of the way it went down, it's just got them in it now.
Okay.
Oh.
I don't know why you're fucking with the Crimean War, but sure.
After solving this problem, vaguely because the British Empire likes to fight things and the Centaurans don't lose, the British Empire gets their happy little asses handed to them.
As they deserve.
After
Understood.
solving this, our
Mhm.
heroes fly in the TARDIS. Who remembers what TARDIS stands for?
Oh, buddy, not me.
Yeah, I'm not gonna remember shit like that.
So it's an
That's-
acronym. It is
Mhm.
time and relative dimensions in space. They are suddenly onboarded by a weeping angel. Table, what's a weeping angel?
Oh, those.
So, Weeping Angels find their origin in what is inarguably one of the best episodes of Doctor Who in a basically ever,
Facts.
called Blink. It was one of Moffat's early pieces and why he ended up being showrunner, which was, as we all know, eventually a mistake. Weeping Angels look like stone angel statues. They are actually, quote, time assassins. They eat temporal energy, but like potential temporal energy. So what they want to do is they want to poke you and steal all of your future from you. And in doing so, yeet you into the past, where you will land at some point. You just kind of have to live out your days in the past without any of that future energy.
Holy shit.
But because they eat time energy, they look at the TARDIS as the world's biggest snack because it's got a giant core of time energy in it. They want inside so they can eat it. Since their super cool introduction, which by the way includes their bonus feature, which is they cannot move while you look at them. While you look at them, they are just a statue. But the second you look away, even to blink, they can move and they move.
Yes, they do. I watched a clip and I was like, oh man.
The other thing we need to add is anything that has the image of a weeping angel becomes
Yes.
a weeping angel.
Wait.
This was a retcon that I never liked.
Go into detail, please. Explain that.
So imagine,
So-
if you will, you are
Mhm.
a expert artist of the highest degree. You're Michelangelo,
Mm-hmm.
and you saw a very angry statue.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You drew, to the best of your ability, this very angry statue. That picture
Come to life and kill you.
correct.
So
And
wait,
just
so
is
if I
a weeping angel.
wait, pause.
Yeah.
So if I'm on mission with Doctor, right, and I'm like, remember that fucking thing that was coming after us, and I drew it as a forensics, like, hey man, remember this thing? That thing now becomes that thing?
It's got to be really good, but yes.
Oh, stop this.
In the episode where this concept was introduced, we were particularly playing with video images of the angels.
Mm-hmm.
So they had cameras on angels as a means of keeping them trapped in place, but this actually just generated more angels, which sucked for everybody.
That's
Um,
I don't like that.
Okay.
And also,
Go
it's
on.
one less thing you can't make merch of because everybody's going to be scared of the thing.
Basically, every appearance of the angels since their first one has steadily declined in terms of like how cool the concept is because it just keeps trying to do more with them because they're fun.
Oh, the problem of
Yeah.
oversaturation.
Mhm.
Yes.
Anyway, so a particular weeping angel meets the Doctor and tricks her into handing herself over to Division.
It's a whole elaborate plot and it doesn't fucking matter at all.
Here's the too long didn't read. The image
Mhm.
of an angel is stuck in a precog's mind, and so now they are angel, and they can communicate with a legion of angels, and they are also a runaway. Chris Chibnall just looked at you and said, hey, you like weeping angels? Fuck you. So anyway, for a hot second, the Doctor herself becomes a weeping angel.
Okay.
Real Doctor turning into a Cyberman energy from several seasons ago that I didn't like then and I don't like now.
I'll
Oh,
admit the transformation sequence, kind of neat, very cool.
I
but,
gotcha.
like-
Captain Picard becomes the Borg thing. I gotcha.
Exactly. Now transported to a ship piloted by none other than Tech Te Un, who is using the Flux to destroy our universe and taking the energy and also the life essence to the next universe that she will rebuild in her own image, kinda. While the Doctor is having a classic crisis of faith, the companions are traveling Earth trying to get back to 2021 from 1904.
I think we're rapidly approaching the point where we have to talk about the ugly crystal people. So there are these two beings called Ravagers who are servants of time itself, but also are bitches. And Swarm was revealed to be the purple one, first of all, but was revealed to be the fugitive doctor's nemesis, which is, I guess, neat. And Azure, the blue one, is his sister and was temporarily living as a human, but that got dealt with pretty neatly in order for them to take revenge on the universe, which is the secret plot to this whole fucking season. They've been running around causing problems throughout, mostly just, I don't want to say minding their business. No, they keep kidnapping people and trying to murder them, which is really easy when they can kill people just by kind of poking them. But they're also just actively fucking with the Doctor for shits and giggles.
All right.
The Ravagers say this line, and when I heard it, I was like, oh, this season you're really up your own ass, huh? They're like, this is a war between time and space. I'm like, get off your own dick.
The specifics of their plan come to light in the last couple of episodes, and you really go, what the shit? Why though?
Yeah, what's the deal?
But we'll get to that. We're nearly there.
Okay.
It barely matters what the deal is, I promise you.
Oh, they look like JoJo enemies, man. I'm not even gonna lie about it.
They might as well be, honestly.
They look like
They make as much
a fucking
sense as one.
surprise inside, you know? Also, their
Yeah, they look-
jackets are ugly. Don't at me.
No, I'm not gonna actually. They actually look like Fabergé eggs. Go on, let's go.
The companions are also trying to find out when the last Flux event, which means nothing because it's an all in time and space, so it happens forever and always.
It's kind of like the first Flux was happening and the dogs are successful enough to stop the first one. But if there's another one, not even the dogs can oppose it. So they got to figure out what's going on.
Oh boy.
That's the logic there.
At this event, the last bit of space will be consumed and the universe will end.
Which, for the record, is what these two motherfucking Fabergé Kinder Surprises are trying to accomplish.
Wow.
They are actively attempting to end the universe, which they are a part of.
Meanwhile, back with the Doctor and her mommy issues, the Ravagers have now boarded this ship at the end of one universe, connecting it to another. And the Ravagers go, hee, I've got your nose to Tecteun, and they obliterate her. So, before Tecteun gets absolutely obliterated, she reveals that the lost memories and, lost faces that we have yet to discover and will answer the question that we've kind of been asking forever and always, Doctor Who, are all stuck in a pocket watch. Now, this fancy pocket watch can hold any essence of a Time Lord the showrunner wants it to. It's a big MacGuffin.
It's a MacGuffin USB.
For example, one time it made the Doctor appear and act human, like when he was David Tennant, he did that. And right now it holds memories and secrets. Ooh, pocket watch. So if the Doctor were to open the pocket watch, boom, all the memories and everything would come back. Remember that.
Roger that. Okay.
Table, I believe there's one more member of the Ravagers we've got to mention.
Yeah, it's the best one. The one who doesn't fucking open his mouth because he doesn't really have one. So there are these things called passenger forms. And their purpose in the mythos was they basically served as like pocket dimension prisons. It looks like a person. It walks around and it does stuff and it's very spooky. But it's also got like a field of Kirby in which it will suck you in and trap you in its little prison. I say little. It's actually infinite. It's an infinite prison.
I like this already.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
Cool, funky. He just stands there and is generally threatening.
He just stands there.
We love it. I don't know if he's the last one, but he's pretty much the only one we have to deal with these days. But there were more of them. So some of the human members of the team have encountered passengers before or have training to escape a passenger, which, sure, I guess.
Right.
This guy is here eating things and people, as the Ravagers, who are its masters, tell it to.
We're going to put that guy in our back pocket. We're going to use him later. Back to Earth again. The companions find their way back to the 21st century by means of a mole man.
Okay.
by no means an exaggeration. It is just a dude who in the UK, or in specifically Great Britain, dug around and built several tunnels all around the fucking country. Well, because the Flux event is, for lack of a better word, fucking with space and time, all of these doorways that he knew where they went now go into Earth's past, present, future, end of time, beginning of time, anywhere.
You might have gone, hey, don't we already have one device to transport through all of space and time? Don't we have that? Isn't that pretty important to the show? And you'd be right. But here we have a second one, just cuz.
That first one, the TARDIS itself, is
Mhm.
just kind of turned off for the first, 3 episodes. And just doesn't work because it's so close to the end of the universe. It doesn't know where time and space is. So it just kind of goes, I don't know, and turns off.
In the face of the earlier antimatter wave and shit, the Doctor did kind of go like kablooey and threw a bunch of time energy at it in the hopes that would make it fuck off, and it didn't appear to do anything. But that's pretty much the only thing the TARDIS does for a significant portion of this series.
So, with a way back to the 21st century, all that's left now is to reunite with the Doctor. One would think that would be easy. No, it's Doctor Who. This is the point in where we're going to take a step back away from the plot, and we're going to talk a little bit about production of this series in part. So, Chris Chibnall decided that instead of just giving us an A and a B plot, he decided that he would give us an A, a B, service a C, a D, and slide in a side of an E. Because fuck you, that's why.
You gotta give props to Doctor Who writers for ambition, because without ambition, the show will always flop. However, there is too much of a good thing, and this guy has been chugging this good thing for apparently 8 hours straight.
And the reason for this is this was initially meant to be a full season, with approximately anywhere between 12 and 13 episodes. However, due to COVID, it was cut down to 8, and then cut down again by means of the BBC going to Chris Chibnall, laughing in his dumb-looking face, and going, haha, you have 6.
Wow.
And our good buddy Chibi gave us an adventure. What Chibnall decides to do during these 6-hour-long episodes is meander and wander further from the main question. You set up something at the end of last season, you teased us and went, haha, wouldn't it be great if you found out all the things, all the answers? And then went, why though?
Real classic Doctor Who move, to be fair.
Truly. With that backstory laid out, let's do what Chris Chibnall can't and wrap up some story. The Doctor, now being tortured by the Ravagers, gets touched at the exact same moment she finds a very Doctor Who way out of the problem by putting herself back into the universe. This causes her to exist in 3 temporal states. One still on the ship, still being tortured, one with her companions and her TARDIS, and one in a small town where my wishes for a better season went to die.
Okay, just don't think too hard.
Yeah, listen, what we're skipping over is a lot of the side characters we get introduced to, mostly because their plot wraps up and I just couldn't give a shit.
I don't care. I only care about Dogman.
Dogman's great. All 3...
Dogman looks huggable.
Yeah. All 3 versions of the Doctor use a psychic link to create a plan to not only join our separated friends, but also completely wipe out the Suntaran, the Cybermen, and the Dalek empires.
Really going for triple genocide on this one.
Assholes of the year. Got it.
Yeah. And just to put the icing on the genocide cake, the Suntarans had completely wiped out the dog people. So our dog guy is the last one.
Oh, they really are assholes of the year. I got it.
The space marooned Doctor defeats the Ravagers with words, and also time itself punishes them, as the other 2 use Passenger to absorb the flux because it's infinite matter, and when antimatter meets matter, it ceases to exist.
Mad convenient.
Negation.
So, with the help of the living embodiment of time itself, 3 Doctors become one, and the day is saved.
Oh, okay.
Is it a Powerpuff Girls? I'm sorry.
But about that pocket watch. Instead of opening it, like the plot has literally been asking for the last 2 seasons, she decides to hide it deep in the TARDIS, never to look at it again. The questions we've been asking for the last 2 seasons will remain unanswered because Chris Chibnall is no longer attached to Doctor Who.
Oh, okay.
The answer is literally being put in a box.
Okay.
Now, while there is a character reason on why she did this, however, no character in the entire series says why. Not the Doctor herself, not her companions, no one. 4 days after the finale of this season aired,
The official Doctor Who YouTube channel.
put up a 15-minute long video in which Chris Chibnall and Jodie Whittaker explain to you the plot and explain to you why she made the move that she makes.
If you have to release a YouTube video about your show to explain anything, you've made a bad show.
And that's Doctor Who Flux. In my well-doctored education in this entire franchise, it is the worst season I have had the pleasure of putting myself through. There are very few redeeming qualities. Not enough.
To me, this all sounds like Doctor Who. List them, Nick.
The
What is
negatives
wrong?
here are it's okay to retcon what Doctor Who has come before, right? You don't need to hold strict the 50 some odd years of the canon. You can twist and turn that however you wish. You can introduce characters and set them all up. Doctor Who most times has an ending. We all reset back to 1 and we're good.
Because Doctor Who is, to some extent, one giant soap opera, it's kind of supposed to return to a state of quote-unquote normalcy from which you can continue to do the show. And obviously that state of normalcy shifts, it changes, but to say this new state of normalcy actually rejects all of the previous ones?
Usually, there's little sprinkles, and when showrunners like the show and approve of the property they actually get to play with, there's little sprinkles of other things, right? There's pictures of people that if you're a longtime fan, you understand. If not, that just means, oh, that's just one of their loved ones, whatever, right?
Right.
This season shat and rubbed your nose in it. Why are you paying attention so long to this long-running franchise? Why do you care so much? You know what? Fuck you.
Yeah.
There is no sense of going back to 1 in every season that Jodie Whittaker has been in thus far. And it's a darn fucking shame because we chatted last time. This is the first woman to take the role.
Is she's still the doc, or like
Yes.
what's the plan? Okay.
So in Doctor Who's future, there is a New Year's special, as there has been for the last couple years, followed by 3 specials ending with the 60th anniversary in which Jodie Whittaker's Doctor will regenerate.
Okay.
Yes, she's looking at functionally 4 episodes.
Right. I mean, she's been doing this for how long now? She's been in the role for a few years now, no?
Yeah,
okay.
it's about cycle time, 100%.
Yeah, okay, makes sense.
But the main problem that people have was A, spitting in the face of the canon that came before it. B, the writing in which comes out of Jodie Whittaker's character has ever so barely gotten better season to season.
Really? It's like that stiff still.
There's this crazy thing where men are often very bad at writing women characters.
You don't say.
And for having what was vastly celebrated as, oh, this is Doctor Who, like, stepped very much into diversity and what that means as the character. And doesn't matter who is portraying the role. The answer is no. Fight me in the comments. It doesn't.
Well,
I don't like it because it's spat in my face. I study this. This is my bread and butter. This is my favorite series of all time.
I feel that as someone from the looking on the outside, because again, this is not, I mean, like, I respect it, you know what I mean? It's been here for some time, and I've never really fallen through the fandom, but I mean, you two have. You can hear disdain, if of all words, towards this right now. I feel your pain. I'm so sorry that this disappointed you guys, man.
Personally, I feel beat up after watching this.
It wanted to be cool. It really, really did. And it took so many potentially super cool concepts and interesting ideas, and it just fucked around with them. And then it carried on some of the ideas that I didn't really like from before. I get that the whole timeless child thing is an interesting shakeup to existing canon, but I didn't want that canon shaken. Because, I mean, Red made the point that the Doctor is our protagonist. The series is named Doctor Who. The character themselves doesn't actually have to be special in any way other than they've got a time box, they know a bunch of stuff, and they're functionally immortal. That's it. Those are the only things that have to be special about the Doctor. And one of the things that put me off some of the later writings of 11 and some elements of 12 that really made it hard to even watch Doctor Who at all was this insistence that the Doctor is a special little boy, the specialist little boy in all of time and space. And that's why you're going to watch. And it was like, actually, I'm here to see good stories written across time and space that happen to have this clown motherfucker involved. This timeless child shit is a culmination of that special little Time Lord. The Doctor is now the first Time Lord. That's why the Ravagers were fucking with her. Because uber special and it means something to fuck with her. Rather than just because, sure. The
There's
Earth
reasons,
is
yeah.
literally becomes the epicenter of reality for a while, which is absurd. The Earth doesn't have to be special either. It can just be kind of funny.
And also, the Doctor has a certain interest in the planet Earth because that's where all of their friends are from. So
Yeah, that'd be like,
no duh.
it'd be like, I like this town because I know a bunch of people who live there. It's not particularly special or interesting. It's just neat. I've always loved the way Doctor Who takes joy and pleasure in the mundanity alongside all of the cool sci-fi shit. And the subplot with Dan about his date was supposed to be that tie back to the mundane, to the normal, to little stuff matters too. But these writers don't seem to think so. They don't seem to think normal people matter or that they're important or that their stories are really worth giving a damn about.
There are side characters we didn't mention on specific purpose because that is what those characters are meant to do. And wholly to the plot that you're trying to tell, they're useless.
They don't need to be there. It's not like Martha Jones, the woman who walked the earth to rally up a rebellion against the master who was taking things over. It's not Donna Noble who constantly just emotionally connected with everyone she encountered and made a significant difference in the lives of so many people, or Rose who went around trying to make unions in space because she cares about workers' rights. It's none of that. It's just grandiose sci-fi stuff, which is fine. It's just not why I love Doctor Who.
You can have your space opera and eat it too.
I get you. Too much razzle, not enough dazzle. Got it.
Yeah.
It's painful to hear because we all have a shared fandom of a lot of things. So and for over the years they've all had their ups and downs. So that teetering scale we're kind of used to, but I can hear your pain through this after something that's been good for such a long ride, and it's giving you something very, I guess, as you guys say, this not doesn't meet the bar for you. So man, I'm sorry. Yeah, that sucks, man. I wish they did better for y'all. Is there any looking up from here?
There is. I'm glad you mentioned that. So, as I said earlier, Chris Chibnall is leaving the series, and this was his official last episode. The New Year special is his finale. After that, we welcome back the granddaddy of storytelling when it comes to Doctor Who. This gentleman has been a part of Doctor Who since the late 80s, early 90s when it came to the novels and Doctor Who wasn't on TV anymore. He wrote some of the best characters we've known, the 9th and the 10th Doctor.
Okay.
We are welcoming back Russell T Davies as the official showrunner for Doctor Who for the foreseeable future. Not only is he writing the 60th anniversary, but he'll be writing the next 3 seasons after that.
Oh, so there's salvation, you're saying?
There is salvation.
Okay.
The hope from the fan base is that Russell T Davies will take the pieces of this and go, wow, okay. Either blatantly ignore it and put things right in his own way, or spend 1 episode correcting it, and then go off on his own adventure and call it a day. Russell T Davies is one of the best people to write Doctor Who.
We did also say that about Moffat, just to be clear, so I'm going to live in skeptic land, but I very much respect Red's optimism.
Yeah, we can talk about the writers of Doctor Who all day long. Beastie, we haven't heard a lot from you this episode. I know you've just kind of been absorbing. You got any final thoughts?
Just kind of curious on how the future of Doctor Who's going to go, so.
Hopefully good.
Yeah.
Hopefully good.
If people want to join us in our future and hear us next year for that, the date of this episode's release is very much in the middle of the holiday season. So happy holidays from us here at Nerd Crusade. Beastie, if people want to find us in our future, where can they find us?
Well, they're going to have to take the TARDIS and then go to the future, but they can also just go right now and subscribe to the YouTube channel. So basically, you can go to our YouTube, subscribe there, and you can catch us every Wednesdays. And you can also stream it on Twitch, on twitch.tv/NerdCrusade on Mondays and Thursdays. You can also follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for updates, and join our Crusader chat on Discord by checking our link tree in the description down below. You can download any previous episodes or listen on your mobile device through Anchor.fm or search Nerd Crusade on your favorite podcast app. Thanks for joining us, and until next time, fellow Crusaders.
Chibnall, how could you do this to the fans, man? What did the Brigadier really die for? And that's to be continued.
Thanks for tuning in. If you like this video, go ahead and button mash a thumbs up. If you want to swing by when we have a new video, web up the sub button. Oh, and while you're at it, hit the bell to be notified by